Now, I am going to use the trade indifference curve, okay, in order to derive optimum tariff for the home country using offer curve, okay. So here I am writing cloth, which is an export for the home country, and here you can write food or steak, whatever you want to write. Okay. So this is the offer curve of foreign country. Okay. This is the offer curve of home country. Okay. Now, when I am drawing an offer curve, okay, if you remember, when I have derived the offer curve, each point of the offer curve, okay, or you can say offer curve is a locus of combination of points, okay, that give us volume of trade at different terms of trade. Okay, this is one volume of trade that we have, okay, and this is based on a particular terms of trade. Okay, then I have drawn another volume of trade, this much of export and this much of import. This is based on another terms of trade. Then I have drawn another terms of trade. Okay, this much of export and this much of import. When your terms of trade is 5, this is 28, and this is I think 140 or something. Okay, when your terms of trade is 5. Okay, so joining these 3 points, we get our offer curve. Okay, so each point of the offer curve represents your volume of trade. Okay, and offer curve is different combination of volume of trade at different terms of trade. Okay, remember this point. So we know that when two offer curve crosses each other, we have equilibrium terms of trade. So this will give us the volume of trade, right? This much of export, this triangle, look at this. This is a trade triangle, if you remember. Okay, this much of export home country is doing and demanding this much of food or steel. Okay. Now, trade indifference curve, we will be using the trade indifference curve in order to show the welfare of the home country. Okay. So, suppose this is your trade indifference curve 1. Okay. Now, suppose this is your another trade indifference curve, say T2, which is higher side. This is a high level of your welfare, nation welfare. Okay, and here you have terms of trade. This is offer curve of home country 2, because your terms of trade improve. Okay, it is going like this. Terms of trade improve further. Suppose it is going from here, and this is your offer curve, T3. Okay, draw it properly. Let me draw it. Let me draw up here. This is T3. Okay. This is trade indifference curve. It tangent to foreign country offer curve. Okay. What we see, there is an improvement in terms of trade of the home country. Okay, I no need to draw this line. Okay, you can draw it. I can see it is getting steeper. So there is an improvement in terms of trade of the home country, and your trade indifference curve is moving up. So home country welfare is improving. Okay. Now suppose there is a further increase in your terms of trade. Okay. Home country want to increase terms of trade further. Okay. There is a further increase in your OS4. Okay. Now, this is the new terms of trade. Okay, where both offer curve is crossing each other. Okay. Now you have higher terms of trade at this point. Okay. Than this point. let me finish the point. Say this is OP, okay, this is OP1, this is OP2, this is OP3, okay. So OP representing your volume of trade. If you draw a line, you are exporting this much, importing this one, okay. OP1 is representing another volume of trade based on your terms of trade OP1, okay. So you will draw a line from here, okay. You will be knowing how much you are exporting and how much you are importing, okay. Now look at volume of trade P3. At P3, okay, what happened? You move to Nova indifference curve. Look at this one, P2, okay. But at P2, okay, you are on a high indifference curve, okay. So where will be your optimum tariff? Where trade indifference curve is tangent to the offer curve of the foreign country, okay. So home country optimum tariff will be at that point where is trade indifference curve is tangent to the offer curve of the foreign country, okay. The point of optimum tariff, you can say, is determined where the trade indifference curve of the home country, or you can say trade indifference curve of the tariff imposing country, okay, become tangent to the offer curve of the foreign country, okay. This is the optimum tariff, okay. Draw it. Because if you are increasing your tariff rate further, okay, what will happen? You are moving to OP3, okay, but you are moving to no welfare, okay, no welfare in the country. So where is the optimum tariff? Optimum tariff is where your trade indifference curve is tangent to offer curve of the foreign country, okay. Remember this point, we will be using it, okay. Next, optimum tariff and retaliation, okay. So when we are talking about optimum tariff, we are looking for one country perspective, okay. How one country moving from free trade, imposing a tariff, okay, able to maximize its welfare, okay, and we are considering that other country not retaliating, okay. Now we want to look at optimum tariff and retaliation. I will look at from both country perspective, okay. So here you can write import, food of Eastern whatever you want to take. Here you can write export of the home country. So this is the offer curve of the home country. This is the offer curve of the foreign country. Okay. So we will be having your trade indifference curve of the home country and trade indifference curve of the foreign country. Okay. This will be the volume of trade. Okay. Whatever say OP. Okay. This much you are demanding and this much you are exporting or supplying. Okay. And this is your term of trade OP. Okay. Now I am drawing trade indifference curve for home country as well as for foreign country. Okay. So this is trade indifference curve for home country. Okay. It is convex towards the export origin of the home country. Okay. Similarly for foreign country you can draw. Okay. So I write P1 prime. I am using prime for the home country. Okay. What will be the optimum tariff for the home country? Where its trade indifference curve, okay, say here, it tangent to the offer curve of the foreign country, okay, say T2. This will give me optimum tariff for the home country, okay. How I will get the optimum tariff? Given the offer cup of the foreign country, okay, when home country imposes tariff, is offer cup will shift upward. That means there is improvement in terms of trade. We have done this one. Okay, so this is say OH1. Okay, so here home country, okay, is making decision where it is designing its optimum tariff. Okay. Similarly, suppose foreign country also retaliate and want to set optimum tariff. So what foreign country will do? Foreign country will set a tariff, okay, where it trade indifference curve is tangent to the offer curve of the foreign country. This is the offer curve of the foreign country, home country. Okay, so foreign country will set its trade indifference curve, okay, in such a way where it will be tangent to the offer curve of the home country. Okay, suppose this is here. Okay, so this is T2 prime. Okay, so let me use red pen here. Okay, so this is the offer curve of foreign country, say 2. Okay, now if both countries setting optimum tariff, or you say one country is retaliating, okay, given that the home country has set optimum tariff. Okay, what we will see? Look at this point. Okay, what happened here? For the same terms of trade, volume of trade has come down. Look at this one. Volume of trade has come down. You are exporting now this much and importing this much. In case of free trade, this is the volume of trade, export and import. Okay. So in case of retaliation, when other country retaliate, what happen? Volume of trade will come down. Okay. So both countries cannot set optimum tariff together. If other country retaliate, suppose home country is setting optimum tariff, okay, and other country not retaliating, okay, then it's okay. Okay. So how we will look at this picture? Okay. So look at this graph and understand one more time. Okay. So this is the offer curve of the foreign country, and this is the offer curve of the home country. Okay. So this is the trade indifference curve of the home country, and this is the trade indifference curve of the foreign country. It's starting with this position, okay, or you can say free trade position. Suppose home country want to set optimum tariff, and in the previous graph we have seen that where will be optimum tariff, where trade indifference curve of the home country is tangent to the offer curve of the foreign country. Okay, so home country will set tariff, okay, in such a way that it trade indifference curve is tangent to offer curve of the foreign country. Okay, this is this tariff rate. Okay, you can name it something. Say this is OP. I have given this one OP. Okay, and you can draw a line. If you don't want to draw, don't draw it, because it is crossing each other. Foreign offer curve and home offer curve is crossing each other. Say this is P. Okay, so it is here. But at this volume of trade P2 OP2, okay, what we see? Home country is optimizing its tariff. Okay. If foreign country retaliate, this is the offer curve of the foreign country. Then we move to point P3. At P3 point, volume of trade is very less. Okay, less than your P1. Okay, this is from home country perspective. Okay, we can look at the other way also. Starting with free trade position. Okay. This much is the volume of trade, this much home country is exporting, and this much it is demanding or importing. Okay. Now suppose foreign country want to set optimum tariff. Okay. So when foreign country want to set optimum tariff, what it will do? Okay. It will devise tariff in such a way, okay, where it trade indifference curve is tangent to the offer curve of the home country. Okay. This is that point. Okay. You can draw a real line from the origin. So let's suppose this is P4. Okay. So this is the optimum tariff designed by the foreign country when home country not retaliating. When home country retaliate, this is the offer cup of the home country. We move from point P4 to P3. Okay, so we can look at from both country perspective. When home country is setting optimum tariff, we move from P1 to P2. When foreign country retaliate, we move to point P3. Okay. Again, second way, what we can say, starting with free trade position. Okay, where volume of trade is given by P1 or P1. Okay. If foreign countries set optimum tariff, we move from P1 to P4, and home country retaliate, we move to P3. Okay, that means when there is a retaliation, optimum tariff cannot be set. Okay, if it is the case that the retaliation is taking place, volume of trade is going to come down. Okay. I have given you people the Kindenberger formula. Okay. Formula for optimum tariff. Optimum tariff is 1 over E minus 1. Okay. E is the elasticity of the offer cup of the foreign country. Okay. So before I proceed, okay, let's look at something. Okay, let me finish some numbers. Then it will be easier, okay, to visualize what we are doing. So this is elasticity of offer cup. Okay. If elasticity of offer cup say is 1, okay, then what will be optimum tariff? It will be 1 over 1 minus 1. It will be what? 1 over 1 minus 1 is 1 over 0, which is infinity. Okay, you can place some number 2, 3, 4, 5. If elasticity of offer cup of the foreign country is infinity, so 1 over infinity minus 1, okay, will be 0. So when you have perfect elastic offer cup of the foreign country, okay, there will be no tariff. Okay. That will maximize the welfare of the country or home country, you can say. Okay. Okay, next take one case, okay, where your offer cup of the foreign country is perfect elastic. Okay. Perfect elastic offer cup of foreign country. When I am saying perfect elastic offer cup, if you know the definition of the perfect elastic, okay, so the proportion of import to proportion of export, okay, remains same. It means that the quantity of export and import, okay, remains same, okay, independent of volume. Okay, it is not going to change. If there is a trade happening, okay, say home country is exporting 10 units of cloth for 8 units of cloth. 10 unit for your say food 8 unit, okay, it will remain same 100 unit of cloth for 80 unit of food. Okay, so we will draw a proportion offer, okay, proportion line. That is what we mean perfect elastic offer. Okay, so proportion of import to proportion of export remain the same. Okay, you can say. So I am taking food, or this is import for the home country, and here you can take export. Okay, this is the offer of the foreign country perfect elastic. Okay, and this is the offer of the home country. Okay, and this is the trade indifference curve tangent to the offer curve of the foreign country. Okay, suppose this is free trade situation. Okay, suppose home country imposes tariff. Okay, there will be improvement in terms of trade. Your offer cup of the home country will shift northward. Okay, so this is the shift of the offer cup of the home country. Okay, so OHM. Okay, now where will be optimum tariff? Where your trade indifference curve is tangent to the offer cup of the foreign country. Okay, now what is happening to your trade indifference curve of the home country? So this is T1, this is T2. It is moving towards origin. One thing is happening, your trade volume is this much you are exporting and importing this much. Okay, trade volume is declining as well as welfare of the country is also declining. You are moving towards the origin. Your trade indifference curve is moving towards the origin. Suppose you increase tariff further. Okay. Increase tariff further. So you again your offer curve of the home country shift northward. Okay, and this is the trade indifference curve of the home country. Okay, so you are moving to lower indifference curve, lower trade indifference curve. Okay, so when you are imposing tariff, okay, you are losing out. Okay, not only volume of trade is coming down, you can see, but also your welfare is also coming down. Okay, so when offer cup of the foreign country is perfect elastic. Okay, what you will see that there is no tariff. Okay, that can be set as optimum tariff. Okay, so better set optimum tariff equal to 0. I have just finished the 1 over infinity minus 1 is 1 over infinity which is equal to 0. Okay, remember this. Now, so how we can determine this optimum tariff? Okay, the question is, what will be the tariff or range of elasticity? Okay, range in the offer curve. Okay, in which we have different elasticity. Okay, what will be that range in which optimum tariff for one country can be determined? Obviously, we are saying that no retaliation take place. Then only we can determine optimum tariff. Okay. Once we determine optimum tariff, then there will be retaliation. Then we will be knowing that volume of trade is going to come down. Okay. Okay. Now I am looking at elasticity aspect. Okay. This is important. So here I am taking food. Here I am taking cloth. So offer cup of the foreign country is positive, means no elasticity is positive. Okay. Then it is not changing much. Offer cup. Okay. Up to this point, elasticity is greater than 1. Okay. From here, say, okay, I will write the point down. From here to here, elasticity is 1. When the offer cup of the foreign country is not changing, elasticity is 1. Then it becomes inelastic. That means less than 1. Okay. So name some point. Say this is P, P1, P2. Okay. And next one more point here. So P3. I am telling you why I am in point P3 here later. Okay. So this is the offer cup of the foreign country. So up to this range, elasticity is greater than 1. When your offer cup is positive, means no. When there is not much change in the offer cup, elasticity is 1. Okay. And when it is negative, means no, your elasticity is less than 1. Okay. This is the offer cup of the foreign country. Okay. Now let me draw the offer cup of the home country. Okay. This is say when elasticity is less than 1, this is offer cup of home country 1. Okay. Then this is offer cup of home country 2. Okay. This point represents your trade point. Okay. Or volume of trade P1. Okay. And when you draw a line from the origin, you will be having your terms of trade, same thing. And this one, see, OS3, and one draw from here. That means your terms of trade is improving. When it is moving leftward, that means terms of trade is better at P1. Okay, at P2 it is more better than P1. Then it becomes going from here. OS4. When terms of trade of the home country improving, because home country is imposing tariff, the offer curve is shifting upward. Okay. Now look at this one. Point P and point P3. Okay. At these 2 points, home country able to import same, but at point P, it had to export more. Say OQ. Okay. But at point 3, it has to export less. Say OQ3. Because terms of trade is better because home country is imposing tariff. Okay. So it is exporting less and getting same amount of import. So home country will prefer this terms of trade. Okay. Even the volume of trade is less, home country is offering less. Okay. But getting more of import. This is what we mean by improvement in terms of trade. Okay. So home country will prefer P3 compared to P1. Okay. Because at P it has to offer more or supply more than at P3 at this terms of trade. Okay, that will be going from here. But this is not equilibrium, right? Because both offer curve is not crossing each other. Equilibrium is at point P2. Okay, equilibrium is at point P2. Okay, but at P2, home country terms of trade will be worse than P3. Because P3 terms of trade will be better, this will be flatter. Okay, but why home country will be choosing this P2? Okay, question is why home country will be choosing this P2? Okay, why? Anyone? Why home country will be choosing this P2? What is the reason for that? If you are drawing your trade indifference curve, okay, I am not drawing here, don't want to make complaints. Welfare of the country, home country will be higher here. Okay, if you draw the trade indifference curve of the home country, okay, so you can say that welfare of the home country is higher at P2 than at P3. Okay, at terms of trade, okay, P2, welfare of the home country is higher than at P3 if you draw the trading difference curve. Okay, so home country will choose P2. Can you everyone? Yes, no. Now compare. Okay, so compared to this, you will prefer this. Okay, but you will not choose P3 because this is not trade equilibrium. Even though at P2 terms of trade is lower, but welfare of the country will be higher, so you will choose P2. Okay, now look at this one, P and P1. Okay, so it's better to move from P to P1. Okay, because what happened when you move from P to P1, the terms of trade is better. Okay, and second thing, here elasticity of the offer of the foreign country is less than 1. Okay, so when you are moving from P to P1, okay, you are able to gain more. Okay, so by increasing tariff, okay, you can improve the terms of trade. If you increase the tariff, terms of trade improve. Okay, you can draw a line from OP to OP1. Okay, and you can increase your welfare. You can move to higher trade indifference. Okay, now look at this range P1, P2, where elasticity is equal to 1. Okay, in this range, your elasticity is equal to 1. Okay, so you can move from P1 to P2. You can reduce your volume, but you will be having the same amount of import. Okay, so you can improve your terms of trade. Okay, by moving from P1 to P2. Okay, and thereby increasing your welfare further. Okay, what we can say? When you have elasticity less than or equal to 1, okay, it is beneficial for the home country to impose tariff. Okay, so if you look at the Kindenberger formula, 1 over E minus 1. Okay, so when the offer curve of the foreign country is inelastic or unit elastic, okay, it is better for the home country to impose tariff. Okay, by imposing tariff, okay, it can improve terms of trade and it can improve welfare also by moving to a higher trade indifference curve. Okay, however, if your elasticity is greater than 1, okay, if your elasticity is greater than 1, it's better to reduce your tariff. Okay, why it is better to reduce tariff? Even though it is worsen your terms of trade, we can move to higher welfare. Okay, so what is the policy implication we can say? Okay, if the offer curve of the foreign country is less than or equal to unity, okay, home country can increase their terms of trade by imposing tariff, okay, and increase their welfare by moving to high trade indifference curve. However, if elasticity of the foreign country offer curve is greater than 1, it is better for the home country to reduce tariff. Okay, this is what you have in the optimum tariff theory. I stop here.